Hi guys, welcome to week 5. There are some ELA reminders that I need to give you for this week. So I'm going to go ahead and split my screen and I'm going to share the things that I need to share with you about week 5. Okay, I'm going to leave myself up there in the corner because last time I did this, it gave me the voices and not the picture. So I'm trying it again. Sometimes you have to do things more than once. All right, so with week 5, notice I minimized weeks 1 through 4, meaning that look at this little arrow here on the side. Instead of having everything listed out for week 4 in the previous weeks, if I click this little triangle, there we go, I can minimize that. Now I'm going down here to ELA. You'll notice this week that you have 2 lessons that you need to be doing for ELA. Now, 10.01, you want to do Monday and Tuesday. 10.02, Wednesday and Thursday. Now you can choose to do those quicker, or you could choose to spend a little bit more time on it, but either way, they both need to be completed. Now with 10.1, you have a lesson, and then you have that little rocket, so that means you have a quiz. 10.2, you have a lesson, and then you have a writing assignment. So there will be 2 things that you will be turning in to me this week, a quiz and a writing graphic organizer. Now looking at lesson 10.1, I'll let that launch. You have different things that you will need to be learning in this lesson. Now remember, if you go up here to My Progress, if you click on that, you can see how many pages are in the lesson. Now I'm going to take you straight to page 15 because that kind of lets you know what you're aiming towards. You will have a quiz called Making the United States My Home. And also you will have a research notes graphic organizer that you will need next week. So don't just go, oh, I have a quiz this week and be done with that. This research notes graphic organizer is very, very important. Now I'm going to go back into My Progress. If you look at page 7, on page 7, it tells you Making the United States My Home. You're going to be wanting to look at what the points the author is making, and then what kind of reasons does he give to support his points. Now you have this story called Making the United States My Home. You have some little audio pieces that you can play. Or if you don't want to have to go through all the different little buttons, remember I explained these out last week, because you have this page 7, but then you also have all of these buttons that you need to read through. If you don't want to do that, you could click on this and it will bring up the story where you could read just straight through it like this. All right, going back to page 7, there you go. Now, you will be looking at page 7 and 8 for the reasons for what of the author's points, and so make sure that you have that. Now, on page 10, here is your graphic organizer. This is very, very important. Now, listen one more time. You are not turning in this graphic organizer to me this week. However, it's very, very important that you do this graphic organizer because you're going to need it for next week in week 6. Remember, you have these tabs. When you click on these tabs, you have information here that you need to be looking at. Here is the research notes graphic organizer. All right, so you're going to need to download this graphic organizer. I want you to notice that there are 3 copies of this graphic organizer. You will need them for 3 different things. So the first one that you're going to do with this lesson 10.01. So you have your question, and then you're going to be taking notes from your reading. Now make sure that you keep this because you need this for next week. I'm going to take this away. Now I'm going to go back to week 5, and I'm going to be looking at that second lesson, 10.02. And here we are. Oh, did I go to the wrong list or wrong week? Looks like I did there, didn't it? All right, here we go. Compare and contrast where I belong. Now this is where you're going to have a different graphic organizer that you are going to need to be turning in to me. Let's look at that, what you're going to be turning in to me. So if I go here to page 12, it says the compare and contrast graphic organizer. So let's look at this. Oh, you are going to be reading two different texts within this lesson called Making the United States My Home and Where I Belong. And you're going to be looking at, when you read, how are these two articles the same? There'll be three ways that they are the same. And then you're going to be looking at for three ways that this Making the United States My Home is different, and Where I Belong is different. So that's what you're going to be specifically looking for. Now, if you're looking in my progress, you're doing all these pages, but the first text is going to be showing up on page 5. And so it talks about comparing text. You need to make sure that you're reading this. But here is Making the United States My Home. And remember, here are some buttons. So that means you're going to need to read that whole thing. And you means you're going to need to punch on all of those buttons. Or again, I was looking. They don't have where you can print it out this for right this second. But maybe on the next one, or I show the text version there. On page 6, here is your second text, Where I Belong. And so this is your second text. And remember, you're going to have that graphic organizer. You're looking for three ways that these two texts are the same, similar, and you're looking for three ways that each of them are different. Now, this lesson right here on pages 8, 9, and 10 go into detail about your writing process. Now, some of you did a great job with that friendly letter. Now, this week, you're going to be writing an informative piece. So you're not doing the same thing like last week. Tabs 8, 9, and 10. Let's look at that just real briefly. Page 8 is going to talk to you about organizing your notes. Make sure that you watch this and look about how you're organizing your notes for your writing piece. Page 9. Page 9 is going to talk about your sloppy copy. Remember, you have to turn in a sloppy copy, and you're going to have to turn in a clean copy. The clean copy is what we call it at school your final copy. I know a couple of people were asking, why do I have to do this twice? Well, because one is the sloppy copy, and one is that clean copy where you've made sure that you've given me the capital letters. You've indented. You have spelled all your words correctly. So on that final copy or that clean copy. And then once you've talked about your sloppy copy, on page 10, building out the body. They are going to give you instructions again about writing. Now, what are you doing? The piece that you're turning into me is this compare and contrast graphic organizer about the stories, Making the United States My Home and Where I Belong. Make sure that you keep the organizer from lesson 10.01. Keep that separate. Make sure even though you don't have to turn it in this week, you have to use it for next week's work. So make sure you get that done. If you have any questions, you can email me, but this should be pretty good in understanding now. I hope you guys have a great week. I'm going to stop sharing that. I hope you guys have a great week, and I look forward to seeing my class in their team meetings, and just enjoy this wonderful weather today. All right, bye-bye.